My name is David Laronde. I'm a singer-songwriter situated on Lake Temagami. I'm Temiagam Anishinaabe. My people lives here for thousands of years. Temagami is a very unique area. There's no place like it in the world. I've worked all over Canada and seen many places. There's nothing like Temagami. This is basically the northern limit of all the huge pine trees. It's very rugged here. Endless trails and lakes that you've never seen in your whole lifetime. And when you're canoeing on the land or camping, it's you just feel peaceful there. You get the feeling it's almost what you're supposed to be doing. It's very important to be in my songwriting to be connected to Temagami. There's some kind of force here. I find natural inspiration from being on the lake here. Mornings work best for me to write songs. You got a clear mind when you wake up, so every day is a new day here. Every morning I grab a coffee and watch the sunrise for a while. Just having that cup of coffee and not worry about the rest of the day, whether that might be. Not getting stressed out. And open your eyes, look around, sights and sounds. Maybe you're gonna hear a few birds. And then I'll grab my guitar and just start to play. It's just a matter of what you feel and you hear that formulate what you're gonna compose. High rock, for example, up this big hill over here in the background. It just brings a lot of clarity to your thinking when you're there. It's sort of like waking up in the morning and having a reset. You kind of reset when you're up there too. Here we are at the base of High Rock. It's the spot where I go to meditate and just kind of clear my mind sometimes and seek out messages from ancestors. High Rock is situated in the hub of Lake Temagami, and it's been a lookout place going back hundreds of years. And I find a lot of inspiration here when you think about how it still looks like it has been thousands of years ago, ever since the Ice Age, I suppose. I started playing guitar when I was about 15. My hands were big enough to get around the neck of a guitar. My parents and my friends would gather on the weekends and play guitar, sing and play music. Everybody smiling and laughing and just having a good time. So there was a couple of guys that were good at guitar and entertaining, and I was kind of studying them. I wanted to be one of them, and I taught myself how to play chords by chord diagrams and listen to records my sister had. A lot of folk music back in the 60s. I studied that for 3 or 4 hours a day when I first got going, and I was able to start entertaining at those parties maybe about 2 years later. So I really enjoy live performing. That's when it seems to have the most life, and when you're actually playing in front of people, there's something magic happening there. We're at the Temagami Outfitters in Temagami. It's our first time with the full band after COVID here, so we're pretty excited. We've got a great lineup of musicians with me. Of course, Morgan Tony's on the bill from Cape Breton. The crowd is pretty pumped and it's filling up pretty fast, so we've got to get at her. Going to my old campsite, place of inspiration and meditation. We are about a mile from where I grew up as a child, from age 3 to 8 in the middle of Lake Temagami. A lot of my songwriting comes from places like this, where you can just kind of feel like you're part of the natural surroundings and contact the ancestors, if you will. All the sounds that you hear is what they heard thousands of years ago, and I find that kind of comforting. When the wind blows through the trees, the water lapping on the shore, the birds and the animals that come around, those are all signs of ancestors. Everything in nature fits together and how it belongs that way. You feel kind of like a part of it. So all of these things raveled up into one place. This would be the place. I enjoy spending more time here than I do at my home across the lake over there. It's about 2 miles away. I always come back to this spot where I spent so much time camping. I'll just play here. Just play whatever comes to my mind. So whatever I'm thinking about will affect the beat of the music, and it's going to be a happy song or a deep song or a sad song. I was 23, and I had the idea that I wanted to just go to a big city and start playing music. So I packed up my car, my worldly belongings, went to live in Vancouver, pursue the music dream. And I started going to folk clubs and different kinds of places where people were playing, just to see what was there and who I could meet and everything. But I've never really made any inroads, so it was like a fork in the road, and I chose the fork to go back to work. I often wonder what would happen if I had just kept on that route. For the last 30 years, I've been working in mineral exploration across Canada. I'm not the traditional prospector where you go banging on rocks and panning for gold and that, but you use geophysical tools to see through the rock, gather the information that way. Basically, it's all modern day prospecting. Now I'm locating a point with the GPS for grid control for the survey. I'm marking stations every 25 meters. I'll take readings in between stations, but I'll mark station with a flag, so if you need to, you can come back to the same place. I love this kind of work because it gives you the freedom to work independently and be outside where it's quiet, and gives you lots of time to think and just enjoy being in nature. It would be 83 to 2013. That's 30 years. So, yeah. That went by fast, but the music's always stayed with me, and kept on developing my writing and my playing over the years. It's like your brain is a hard drive, and if you don't have anything on your hard drive, you're not going to be able to write songs very well. But as things collect and you live life, you run into a few happy moments and a few sad moments, and time is more valuable as time goes on. And it's never too late, so I'm investing a lot of time and resources into my music now. I haven't really done that before to the extent of doing it. Making that kind of choice is like, it's like learning how to fly off this cliff here. You're not sure if you're going to fly or not, but you might be forced to fly, to be yourself and do the things you're meant to be doing. To follow your passion is the ultimate reward because you're doing something you love. My newest album is called I Know I Can Fly. It's got some interesting stories in it that are about modern day life in Canada for a lot of Indigenous people. And the album is about connecting to ancestors, the ancestral power that you see around this land here. Wind, water, waves, sky, trees. Being able to imagine what the people did thousands of years ago and how they survived and what they might be thinking. I've been nominated for the Canadian Folk Music Awards for Indigenous Songwriter of the Year. National recognition of my songwriting as being the real deal. I mean, there's lots of great people who have been nominated for the Indigenous Songwriter of the Year, and to be one of them is a real honor, you know.